Facebook
I,
jail.
well, I'm trying to help you, trying to help my group, trying to, help everybody. And it's what you get. And then the funny thing is, yeah, you invite too many people and yeah, they want to put you in jail.
Isn't that nice of Facebook? You try and help everybody out, and then they disable your account. Try and make Facebook bigger, better, and they just screw you.
Yep. No, you can appeal and stuff, but it's,
Yeah, it's just a
outrageous.
hassle.
Yep.
Welcome, Josh.
Hey, figured it out. I was just typing in the 9-digit meeting code for some reason with that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do you have a private link or something?
No, it should be the same link for everyone, so not really sure, I guess. Should be the exact same one, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's weird. All right.
But yeah, anyways, probably wait a few more minutes just to get everybody in here, and then we'll start talking. So, how's everybody's weeks going?
All right.
Picking up phones, not even trying. You know how that goes. Previous customers, I haven't even been advertising one. I just want to take a break for a week or two, man. I'm just still burned out, man. You get that way, guys, and you really do need to just take a break, relax, and get away from it maybe for a week or two sometimes.
Yeah, that's actually what I've been doing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but haven't really been posting much at all, just because of the fact that it's just kind of nice to, I don't know, get away, I guess. I just have so much stuff like going on. It's like I just feel like I can't get a break. Like I stopped doing the YouTube video a day. I'm gonna have to pay someone $1,000 at the end of the year, but whatever. It's a tax deduction, I guess. But I just couldn't do it because I felt like I'd be like trying to get something done on my rental property, and then I'd be rushing home because like I got to do the video, or I'm gonna lose $1,000, and it's just like I shouldn't have set it up like that. And I was rushing to get content out. I couldn't take time to edit the video. Sometimes I had to just throw them up and too much. And then getting away from the toxic groups and stuff has been like really, really nice too. So.
Yeah, I kind of thought that from the beginning. When you said you're in your video a day challenge, I'm like, this is gonna work for now, but you're gonna get yourself burnt out. You're gonna be like, why the hell am I doing this every day?
Yeah, I don't know. I know. I told a couple of family members that, and they're like, "Why would you do that?" They're like, "That's crazy." I was like, "I don't know. I wanted to motivate myself, so it worked." But
didn't it dawn on you that even if you had the motivation, you'd be like, "Well, damn, I ran out of content." Like,
yeah. I mean, I have content like every day, I guess, because like I'm always doing something business related. But it did. There was some days, like a day where it was a little slower. It was hard to come up with new content because if I picked up 2 phones and it was just some little mediocre deal, I can't really talk about it.
Yeah, the phone business changes fast, but not that fast.
Well,
talk about every day.
I don't know. It's changed pretty good the past year. I'm gonna tell you, when I got started, an iPhone 6 went for 125, 150. iPhone 6 Plus, 225, 250. Man, a year later, and man, you're looking at 8 pluses ain't worth $100, man. Or that's all you can pay for them. I mean, to make any money. I mean,
I'm not trying to say that the phone business is done. I'm just saying that there's not enough new things to talk about every day. It's all, but business is alive and well.
Oh yeah. Well, it's hard to know getting the phones now because everybody thinks their XR is worth $500. They think they're, you know what I'm saying, and the prices have just dropped dramatically.
Well, you've only been in a year, so I understand where you're coming from. This kind of happens every year, and it takes a month or two for the reality to kind of set in. The best example that I can give you for comparison is if you look at trade-in values for cars, right? The biggest example I think that comes to mind is Range Rovers. They have a 5-year warranty. So the first 4 years, they're worth a ton of money. 5th year, they're worth money. Year 6, the value goes from 50 grand to 15 grand because they're out of warranty and no one wants to deal with it. But there is a short period where, like, right at the end of the 5th year, where, like, people are still paying a lot, but they don't realize that once they go out of warranty, it's $7 for a set of struts.
Well,
so, it takes a little time for the market to adjust.
Right. You know where the money is flipping houses like Luke's doing. You know, if I was a little younger, man, and in 2008, if I, didn't lose so much in the stock market, man,
Yeah.
I mean, I had professionals with Wells Fargo. I worked for Wells, and I gave them $500,000 and they lost half of it. And I kept on telling them before it even happened, hey, I don't feel good. I think the market's going to, and, they blow you off and double-digit earning, double-digit growth. I was right. They were wrong, but yet they had my money. I should have listened to my gut, but my brother bought 3 houses. I mean, cheap. I mean, like 30,000, 35, nothing. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, like Luke is doing.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, anybody can do sheetrock. I can do plumbing, electrical. I can do a lot of stuff. If you can do a lot of the work yourself, man. Luke's doing the right things. I mean,
well, I will say one thing I learned watching my dad. Now he has a full-time job at a hospital, but he also kind of buys houses and rents them on the side. One of the things I learned from him was he was so adamant about not paying any professionals to do anything. He wanted to do everything, all the repairs himself. And he'd buy these fixer-uppers, and he'd take a year and a half to get them fixed up. And I'd be like, if you paid someone, who's done it in weeks and be making money.
Well, what you can do too, if you don't know how to do it, pay somebody, watch them do it, like sheetrock and whatnot. There's nothing to this stuff.
Well,
hey, plumbing.
He just doesn't have the time, and I told him, like, while you're wasting your time taking a year and a half to fix up this house.
But my brother's made a killing. He bought them things $35,000. Now he's selling them at $200,000 a piece, man. I mean,
basically, so like my strategy, what I do for houses, it's
rent them out.
I don't think I'm gonna do it again, but it's a little bit miserable, but it does work really well. Basically, what I would do is when I got my very first property, it was kind of miserable because it was my only house. I didn't have another one to live in while I did it. So what I did is before I moved in there, I was renting an apartment. Before I moved into the house, I went in there, I gutted everything, I put new carpet in, and I painted and I did new trim in like 2 rooms. So I had a nice office and a nice bedroom, but the rest of the house was just a disaster.
Right.
And in between all the phone flipping and everything, after like 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, and there's the occasional late night deal. But after all that, after all my day stuff, that's when I would basically work from like 6 p.m. till like 2 a.m. at night, just basically gutting. I do all the demo work. I don't like to do the finish work because I figure, it would take me a long time to learn how to do it as good as somebody else. I mean, I'm sure I could do it, but I don't know if it's going to be the quality that I want. I'm a really good painter. I mean, I know how to destroy stuff. I know how to demolish stuff and all that or whatever. And because I like to, when they do stuff, I like to watch how it goes on so I know how it comes off. But if you have somebody bid, say, a 20 by 20 room, if you want them to rip all the existing sheetrock off, all the insulation or whatever, and that is half the cost right there. So typically I'll demo everything, get it all prepped for them. And they're usually happy too because, some people, they've been doing this 30 years. They don't like doing demo work. They're like, what a mess.
It's dirty and messy, yeah.
Exactly. So I'll do all that stuff myself. I have fun. I've got people that I grew up with in high school that need work. I'll pay them like $12 an hour or whatever here and there just to hire them to help out or whatever. And they'll come in and help me. So it all gets done quick. But then the biggest thing when you hire a contractor is, 1, you got to make sure they're good, but 2, you want to make sure that they're not overpricing you. Because I had a guy that basically quoted me to fill in a 4x4 wall with drywall, mud it, tape it, texture my bathroom, and then sheetrock and tape, mud, and texture the bathroom downstairs. In this house, you guys have been seeing those videos on YouTube. I've been remodeling the house I live in. Basically downstairs is an apartment now. It's all done. And I had one guy tell me that just to do this little 4x4 patching up here upstairs and just to texture the bathroom upstairs, that wasn't even hanging the sheetrock downstairs or anything, he wanted like $1,600. And I was like, he seemed like he knew what he was talking about, but I'm like, that just seems so high, because I've got obviously business sense. So I go to Menards one night. Menards is kind of like a Home Depot of the Midwest. They sell lumber, all that kind of stuff. I walk into Menards and there was like this contractors fair, and basically contractors, they come in from like 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. till Menards closes, and they just like give off like a little printout, like a flyer. And I grabbed this guy's stuff, and it's called AMP Construction. And there's this guy, and his name is Donnie. And I could just tell when I shook his hand, firm handshake, but very calm, very humble. And he had like this little cowboy hat on. He's just the nicest thing ever. Like, he looks like he just came straight out of like this Western movie, and he always smells like whiskey, which is funny. I mean, he's not a drunk by any means, but he just has that like old Western cowboy smell to him, and he looks like a guy that came out of a Western. He comes to my house, he looks at everything, and then includes the sheetrock downstairs, hanging it and texturing it, taping it, mudding it, finishing it, and it was $1,600 for everything.
There you go.
And that's a whole nother room and doing sheetrock, and I'm just
Wow.
like, geez, if I would have went with that other guy, I would have got screwed. But it's like
Yep.
he was a lifesaver, you know.
Actually,
You gotta be careful.
On the topic of houses in general, here's the problem that I'm running into. So I'm in the middle of opening another store again, store that I had before again. But I'm running into trouble getting loans. Literally no one, like, first of all, I'm 19, so that's I can't get a bank to give me a card with a $300 limit. And they don't really consider, like, they have a problem with the online income, and then also the fact that I'm 19 and everything I've gotten has been denied. Do you have any ideas about that?
So you're trying to get loans. First off, what banks have you tried to go through?
Well, my bank, which is Community Bank, it's like a regional bank up here. I tried. My parents belong to a credit union. I tried there. They said they would do it with the cosigner. My parents don't want to cosign on it. That's kind of it. I've tried a couple. Like, you can just try to get credit cards. Just try to see, if I get a credit card, establish it for 6 months, and then go for a loan. But even then, like, I can't get approved for anything other than it's not that I have bad credit. I just have nothing.
Do you know what your credit score is right now?
I don't even have one. Like, I can't get approved for anything.
Well, what I'm saying is, though, do you know what the score is? I mean, you should still have a score. Like, have you ever tried creditkarma.com? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, when I put it in, it says nothing. It shows, like, no record. Like, because I have been approved for things, like, for example, I have a Verizon account that has 11 lines, but they don't report. So nothing has ever been, like, reported. I don't have a card or anything, so I don't know, like, where to start.
What I would do where you might be able to get approved is I would go to like a Kohl's or go to a Walmart or go to some shopping store that has like their own in-house credit card. The very first credit card I got was, I think I was like 17, and I got a credit card from Kohl's, and it was just a $300 charge card. I believe I could only use it at Kohl's. But even though it was in-house, they did report to a credit bureau. So what I've been doing since I was 17, even though I did file bankruptcy around age 20 due to a bad relationship, I started basically every time I would go to Kohl's once a month, I would buy either a pop or a candy bar. Just one little thing. It's like $1.50. I would do that every month, and every month I would get my statement in. I would go into Kohl's, I would pay it off in cash, and then I would just buy another pop or a candy bar when I was over on that side of town. And even though it, like, the first 3 months I didn't notice anything, and I was just like, is this really making a difference? Like, 8 months went by and my credit score was up like 100 points. It's just basically showing them, that you're responsible with the credit. The other biggest thing to do for your credit when you do get a credit card is try and keep all of your credit cards 10% of the loan value. So if your credit card has a $3,000 limit, try not to spend more than $300 on it. Like me personally, I probably have over 100,000 in credit cards, but I don't use any of them. They actually, I'll show you guys. They actually literally, they literally just sit here in this book on my desk. So I've literally just got like this stack of just credit cards, and just there's a couple other important things. But I mean, there's 2 rows of credit cards in here. There's my Kohl's credit card. See, there's the first one.
I'm gonna steal your identity and I'm gonna go buy some.
Oh yeah. I don't even think that's the full number. But yeah, so I just have this book of credit cards that just sits there whenever. You can grab these at like Walmart or Office Max. They're just kind of a nice portfolio to keep all your cards in. And every time somebody sends me an offer in the mail, I just fill all the stuff out and I sign up. And it just looks good because I've got $100,000 probably in credit card limits, but I only spend like $100 a month. Like I might buy gas here and there, or I'll buy a pop. And that's the best way, honestly, to build your credit. And then obviously if you get an actual loan, that would help too.
Yeah, I'm just struggling to get to that point. Obviously, like my parents don't want to co-sign just because they're reluctant and they can't afford to pay off any loan that I get.
Is your car paid off? Do you have a car right now?
I do, but I don't have a loan.
Okay, well, here's how you go get a loan. You go get an account, do some research on your local credit unions, like figure out which credit union you got around you is the best. The best thing to do is post in the local Facebook group and just put, I hate my bank. I can't get a loan through them. Who do you guys recommend? I'm looking for a good credit union. See what the people throw at you based on one of your local Facebook groups. Then go into that bank and ask your bank for a $500 loan against your car and tell them that you'd like to build credit. And I'm sure they'll do it. As long as your car blue books for more than $500, then you'll get the loan.
See, I tried to do that, but they told me, and I don't know if it's maybe just that bank, because they told me that in the state of Pennsylvania, title loans are illegal.
Title loans are illegal in Pennsylvania.
Apparently. Which I
haven't heard that. I guess that doesn't make any sense, because how would any car dealership sell a car then?
I guess the loophole is you can finance a car, but you can't use a car as collateral on a loan.
Interesting.
Which doesn't make any sense. That's literally what a car loan is.
I mean, that I don't know. I don't really know. You know, I don't want to take up a ton of time on this, but I'm just trying to give you some help here. I don't know the laws, you know, of where you live at, but that would be kind of my 3 go-to things that I would try to do. So,
I'll give one of try, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, give it a shot. But yeah, one thing I wanted to talk to you guys all about tonight is let's talk about USPS tonight. So I got an official denial letter in the mail, and I want to kind of open up a little can of worms here just on chat, and I kind of want to warn everybody just kind of my personal experience on what's happened. I'm going to mute everybody here for a second. So for those of you guys that didn't know or didn't see, I recently sent out a package, and I got paid $17,885 for this package. I had it insured for $18,000. You know, to cover obviously all the tape that I used, and I did buy a special box for it. I bought a couple totes actually to send the phones in. What I do with my phones, when I send like 25 phones, I will actually put them in little plastic totes that I buy from Walmart. They're like $10 each. Sounds crazy, but I don't want any of those getting messed up. It is official that USPS has lost that $18,000 package, and I didn't send it. I didn't send it with cheap mail or anything. I send this package. I sent it with registered mail. What registered mail means is if my package goes to Bob, Bob signs off it. If Bob ships it to Josh, Josh signs off it. Literally, this package is like the crown's jewels. Like, everybody should be watching it no matter who comes into contact with it. It got lost on a redelivery, and I called the USPS post office that sent this package out for redelivery, and I confirmed with the first lady that I talked to. She sent me an email and said there's been no additional scans. The package has been lost. I talked to the supervisor there. He looked into it for over a week. He also said that it has been lost. They don't know what happened. They don't know if it was stolen from one of the workers or what. But this package was insured. I legally paid for it. USPS is a federal government entity. I paid for the insurance, sent it registered mail. So it's not like I sent it with media mail or some cheap mailing system where I hope that it got lost so I could make some claim because there was nothing in the box. I paid for the most expensive stuff. I've got video proof of me putting the phones in the box, packaging the box, and then walking it to the USPS station, having it mailed. And I have a written statement from the guy that shipped the package out at the post office. He's willing to sign a statement that, hey, he sees me all the time. I ship out high valuable electronics. USPS took over 35 days to get back to me. Now, the one problem I'm going to give this is the fact that USPS, when you start a claim, they only let you upload 6 pictures of photo proof, and they only let you type 250 characters in their online claim submission. So that might have been why the claim got denied, but the claim did get denied. I got a letter 35 days after saying that it was denied for insufficient proof of value of what was in the package. And it's just like, hello, common sense. I submitted pictures of the actual items because I only got to upload 6 pictures, and they denied it. So what I'm doing now is I've got all the original invoices, which is what I paid for the items, what I got paid for them after I sold them to the seller, and then I've got proof of my insurance, proof of the actual pictures of iPhones, and then I typed them a letter that basically lists all of the stuff that they're going to find in this information packet and the proof of value. And it also says at the bottom that I have all the USPS phone calls recorded, which I do, and that I have a video of me packaging up the phones and taking them there, and that if they'd like that, I can send that also. And then I left my contact information. So basically, I am going to be appealing this, sending all the stuff in physically. I'm hoping that it gets approved this time, but I've done some research, and I just kind of want to let everybody know tonight that USPS is completely fraudulent when it comes to approving their insurance claims. There's been other people out there. A good example was a innocent guy shipped a turbocharger. So obviously it's a big item. You don't just lose a turbocharger. It's a $2,000 turbocharger for his truck. Shipped it out of Indiana, sent it USPS, priority mail tracking, all that good stuff. He paid for insurance on it. USPS denied the claim after it went missing. They said they couldn't find it. How do you just lose a turbocharger in a giant box? And shortly after, the guy called the local news station. Shortly after, he was sent a check. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to contact business lawyers. I will sue them in federal court, and I'm going to contact the news station and all these videos that have been sequestered going up to YouTube, you know, that have been back-to-back kind of the updates. That's what's going on. So basically, guys, the insurance is a joke. Now, what I've been told from a business expert friend of mine is that, and this is actually really smart, and I think I'm going to follow through with this, is I am going to purchase business insurance for my smartphone flipping business. Anybody out there in the chat, if you guys want to type, does anybody out there actually have business insurance right now for their LLC or for their company name? Looks like everybody's saying no. Okay, so here's the upside to this. Obviously, it doesn't help me now if they do continue to deny this claim. I will have to find a formal lawyer. But what I was told by a friend of mine is that if I purchase a business insurance policy for this business, the next time USPS loses my package and I have it insured, my insurance company will reimburse me upfront. So I'll get my $18,000 back, and then my insurance company, which is nice, it's nice to have a couple big wigs on your side, they will go after USPS and they will handle the lawsuit or sue them or whatever, and they will get the money out of USPS, given there's enough proof, which this case, it's blatantly obvious that they lost my package. They admitted it. I have their emails and everything. And I'll get paid back instantly. Don't have to worry about them. And the two insurance companies or the two government entities can fight back and forth with each other. So after this, I am going to basically be looking into business insurance policies and make sure that I'm covered if USPS tries to screw me again. So that's basically what's going on.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, Luke. I mean, you got proof you sent out and you insure it for $18,000. Now they lose the package, and they, you know what I would probably do? I would go down, call personally, and make an appointment with the inspector general, whoever it is in the big, who you need to talk to, your post office or whatever, who the big wig is, and say, I got a problem with the claim. I insured a package for $18,000. You guys have lost it, and I'm getting a runaround here. Who do I need to talk to? So I can show you all my proof, because, and just like you said here, hey, they only took 5 pictures. They only took this and that. I got tons of stuff. Bring this stuff with you to show this guy. Say, listen, I'm not a scammer. I'm, this is a legitimate business. I send this stuff all the time. You can ask your guy up front, but I would be talking to the squeaky wheel gets the grease and say, do I need to get a lawyer? I mean, what do I need to do to get you guys' attention? I mean, I am sure that I did everything proper, and I sent the package. It's going to Timbuktu, and all of a sudden you guys lose it and you didn't get signature confirmation from who I was sending it from. Hey, it's on you guys. That would be my stand.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I do have a packet about this thick. I'm actually going to ship it to them in a binder. Each like 3-page packet, like there's one section that basically has the invoice showing who I sent it to, showing that it's paid, showing that I transferred the money to my bank, and then actually a print off of my bank statement, all within a 2-day date range, showing that, hey, this was the transaction. I really did get paid $17,800 some for this. You guys need to pay me back for it. And I'm going to send them this informational packet. If it gets denied again, then at that time, that's when I'm going to be looking for a lawyer. And I will probably make a couple phone calls down to them and say, hey, what's going on? Because I've read other horror stories from people where their claims went out 2 or 3 years, and then they'll try and say that, hey, the claim is too old, so we can't honor it or we can't do anything. Now, I know we've talked mindset before. Hey, if you get scammed, move on. If it's $500-600, move on. If it's $1,000, move on. You know what? Even if it was $2,500, I'd probably move on. But I mean, when we're talking $18,000 for one package, I can't really just let that slide, because it's just too much of a loss. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that I paid USPS for their insurance legally. and they're still trying to deny it. I think that's absolutely insane. So I just kind of wanted to warn everybody about this. I don't want to have a negative group chat or anything, but I just wanted to bring this to light to everyone to be careful with what you send.
And I can tell you guys from experience, I actually used to do candles. I was a #1. When you type candles in Yahoo, me and my wife, she liked to do the wedding candles, cut and carve, and the scented, and the gel candles, and I was big time. And we always have found that, hey, all of them are pretty good getting the packages there most of the time, okay? But if a package got lost, it was usually when we shipped it UPS. FedEx is 10 times better when you use 2-day. Almost never a package gets lost. But UPS is really good most of the time too. And I can't believe that they wouldn't take extra care with an $18,000 package. They're usually pretty good too, but they do lose packages occasionally. You know what they lost on me? Some guy, I bought a bowling ball. The guy shipped me a bowling ball and it got lost. They said they find it. You know what they end up shipping me? A boat anchor. I shit you not. Yeah, they found my package, man.
I personally think what happened.
It ain't funny. I'm sorry.
No. That is a funny story. What I personally think happened is, I think somebody in the USPS facility, I think that they saw that it was going to a buyback company. They might have been able to make out what it was, and I think somebody ripped it open. I think they just made off with all the phones and figured out how to sell them. I mean,
yeah. My advice to you, first of all, do you have a FedEx account?
No, I don't use FedEx. I've always been loyal to USPS. I mean, I get all my labels free. I get all my shipping stuff free, and I do get pretty good rates just because I ship out a lot. And it's one of those things where I just don't really want to switch. But after this, if this claim gets denied with the appeal, and the nice thing is when you do appeal it, and you send it in physically, I can send in as much proof as I want. So I'm going to send them everything. Hopefully it's very easy for them to integrate. But I'm going to consider switching it.
Let me put it this way, just because, especially since you're shipping so much, how much did you spend on insuring an $18,000 package?
I want to say the package total with insurance and then the shipping, I want to say it was like $200 to $220. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but it was way cheaper than losing $18,000.
Well,
you know?
So what I was going to say is I know sometimes the USPS insurance is way more expensive. So FedEx is only 1% of the value for the insurance. So it'd be about the same. I've never had FedEx deny a claim. I've had them damage one package, and I got the check in 2 days. Compare that to the post office. I have a claim from the beginning of 2018, not 2019, 2018, like January or February, where they printed my name on the check wrong. I sent it back to them, and I was supposed to wait 6 weeks. Still to this day, never got a check back. So, as far as your business insurance thing, I actually do have business insurance through Hiscox. Garbage, don't even bother. They won't approve anything.
Luke, a question.
Sure, what's up, Azam?
Hey, what does the tracking say? Does it still say still in transit or whatever?
Yeah, it's the tracking shows that it's not delivered either. I mean, that's what's kind of odd about the situation, guys. They're not denying that they lost it and that they're liable. They just denied the claim. That's it. They're not even trying to deny that they lost it or deny a fault. They're trying to basically get out of it by saying, I don't have enough proof of value. But like I said, I did only get to upload 6 pictures. None of them were invoices. So after this and after I get to appeal it, hopefully it'll get to the right person.
What it comes down to is they did that just as a cop-out so that you have to reappeal. Right. And then what they use is they tell you, oh, it's been more than 30 days. You can't.
They basically hope that people will just give out. But I just got my denial letter, I don't know.
Well, they hope that you're going to take more than – it's 30 days from the date that you filed the first claim.
Correct.
So from whatever that date was, you have 30 days. If you don't get it done, and then you can kiss your money goodbye, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm only 3 days in now. So what I'm going to do is when I send this info out, I'm going to send it overnight and with tracking. So they'll get it.
Yeah, right.
So it won't even be a question.
Luke, it's like an insurance company, medical insurance. They always deny, even when you are 100% legit entitled to do this and that. They always say just deny. And I don't know if the post office on anything over $5,000 is doing that just to weed out the scammers and everything else, figuring, well, they'll just go away. So, yeah, keep on them, man. I think the smart thing is just go talk to somebody that you can go talk to in person, show them what you got, and say, who do I need to send it to make sure this thing doesn't get denied again or whatnot. I would do a verbal face-to-face.
I won't send anything over $500 through you.
Yeah, I'll be taking some different, precautions just after this happened. I mean, it's very interesting.
But go in there like they're your best buddy, the guy who's going to help you there, and say, can I make an appointment, or what do I have to do? I had a package that was lost by you guys, and I'm getting a runaround where they just want to deny it, even though I had insurance and everything else on it, and the package was not delivered. And I need to talk to somebody higher up that can make the decision, tell me who to contact.
Yeah.
I work management Wells Fargo. I know how this works.
I got to talk to the right person.
Exactly, and they'll help you then. Then you'll get help, and they'll say, hey,
what my plan is, I'm going to send this information. I'm going to give them like 4 or 5 days. So obviously they probably will have looked through it by that. And then I'm going to give them a call and, ask them, hey, did you get it? And what other questions do you have, or what's the issue? What needs to be paid. The thing that I do like about USPS, and just kind of want to touch why I use USPS, and I don't know if it's like this for everybody else out there, but basically I use USPS because I can drop packages off up to 10 o'clock at night. I don't think I'm able to do that with FedEx.
Well, some FedExes are open 24 hours, but like, for example, my post office is right down the road, but I live in a town of 3,000. My post office opens at 9:30, closes an hour for lunch, closes at 3. So, like, the worst post office ever.
So that's what my regular post office does. But so here in Wisconsin, USPS has little outlets in all of the grocery stores around here. So I can just actually walk into a grocery store, and as long as the service counter is open, which they're usually open till 10 o'clock, I can ship packages out, basically from 7 a.m. in the morning all the way to 10 o'clock at night.
Well, I would be careful about those, too, because we have something like that. It's in a title and tag place over down the road here. But the trick is that they'll do is the insurance doesn't apply until it's scanned in. So, like, for example, this tag and title place, they just have, like, a sign on the wall that says, FedEx package is dropping here. If I leave it there from then until it gets scanned in, the insurance is invalid. So if someone walks in and swipes the package,
right, it's
the insurance doesn't cover me.
But
switching gears, I have a Craigslist question for you. Have you ever had Craigslist actually ban or flag a paid ad? I've never had that happen.
Yeah.
But I got $3 times 3 refunded to my credit card today, and I was like, or my debit card, and I was like, what is this? Like, I've never seen Craigslist pay me. And I look at it, and they flagged 3 of my paid ads, and I was just, I never saw that happen.
They did it to me too on a wrong category. I was trying to buy phones and finance. They'll do that occasionally.
Yeah, these were under cell phones by dealer. So I paid the $3 just to not have it flagged in the cell phones category.
Yeah, I have had that happen before. Craigslist does do that. I've done a couple group chats about it where sometimes Craigslist will ban them. The other thing that I've seen is if enough competition flags one of your paid ads, it seems like sometimes they get banned, but you don't get a refund. So I've also advised people that when you do post your paid ads, make sure you're printing off the paid receipt showing that you paid it. And then if you can't get a hold of Craigslist, because Craigslist doesn't really have that great of a customer support system, bring the receipt into your bank and get a chargeback and get your money back. So in a sense, it's a little bit of hassle, but it's kind of nice because sometimes the ad will get banned like 20 days in, but you paid for a full 30 days. And since Craigslist doesn't really have a good customer support system, you basically just got a free ad and you just keep doing that. So just one of the things, it seems like Craigslist, in my opinion, Craigslist kind of seems like they're starting to monitor stuff a little bit more than they used to.
Well,
I think
that was my other question. You know how a Facebook Marketplace account can get like ghosted permanently, where all of your ads get ghosted? Can that happen? I know Craigslist ads get ghosted, but I didn't know the actual accounts can get ghosted. Is that possible? So I think my main account is ghosted.
I do think it is possible, either that or it's your IP. I mean, I have heard of people where basically they just can't post on Craigslist. Nothing is working for them. Basically what you're going to have to do is you're just going to have to probably make a new account. It kind of sucks.
That's what I was wondering, because I did make a new account. See, I've had this account since probably 2014, 15. It's been a while, and I've never had stuff get flagged at this rate. But if you look at my list, like the first page of 20 results, like 18 of them are flagged. So I made a new account, same IP, same computer and everything, just a different email. And like only 1 out of 20 ads got flagged. So that's why I was wondering.
You may have some competition going after you, buddy. There's some dirty son of a guns. I'm telling you, man. Hey,
I know. It's weird. The new account.
Yep. I mean, I had that happen to me on OfferUp, and I got banned. somebody going after me.
Sometimes you got people out there, in my opinion, people who have time to do that aren't really making any money anyways. I mean, me personally, I think I've maybe flagged people like once or twice, maybe when I was bored in the car, like somebody was driving and I'm like, oh.
I just flag those scammers who are like $100 iPhone 8 Plus.
Yeah, I flag that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I just, let competition be competition. I mean, there's no reason to play dirty. So you definitely could have some competition there that's flagging your stuff. My advice is just to keep on going, keep your head up, and just keep advertising. The best way to beat competition is to advertise them. So, you keep coming up with original ideas, keep advertising more. Eventually, they'll either stop flagging you, focus on their own business, or they'll just give up altogether.
Well, that was the other thing I wanted to ask you about. Speaking of ad, so I have the opportunity to buy, those 3-sided directories they have in malls that have like 3 signs on them.
Yep.
So there's one of those. What was that?
Oh, I said, yep.
Yeah, so there's one of those right next to the Eco ATM in my mall, and there's one of them available. They want $300 a month to use the sign on a 13-month contract. Does that seem like a good deal to put a sign there that says, we buy phones for cash?
It's a little expensive. Depends how long of a contract do they want.
13 months. So it's a little over a year.
Yeah, it's a little expensive.
I mean, does it seem worth it? Like $300 a month doesn't seem like that big of a deal if I get at least like 3 or 4 phones a month.
I mean, I've got 3 houses. Well, I got more than 3 houses, but I got 3 houses that are right next to each other, and I don't even have a sign up in front of each one of them. I mean, I could do a 4x4 sign. All 3 of these houses are on the main road. They're really busy. I don't know if paying $300 a month would be worth it for a sign in the mall, just because of the fact that people that are going through the mall, if they're not thinking about selling their phone, they're not really going to be looking around for the sign. I mean, they might see it, but
that's what I thought too. But this sign is literally like 10 feet away from the Eco ATM, facing the Eco ATM. So that's why I was wondering.
And if they're going to let you put up a sign that says, we pay higher cash than Eco ATM, like let you be competition, I would say yeah. But if they're going to have a bunch of stipulations, what I've known is malls are pretty strict about some of the things that they allow people to do there. So what I was just going to say is, if they'll allow you to put your logo up and that you pay more cash than Eco ATM and your phone number, you could give it a shot. I mean, it'll be either be a really good investment or a really bad investment.
I can't use the word Eco ATM, but I can say, we pay more cash for smartphones, the most cash for smartphones, something like that. I just can't use the words Eco ATM. That's all I can't do.
You could give it a shot. It'll either be a really good investment or a really bad investment. Like I said, the only thing that I'm thinking,
down the drain.
The only thing I'm thinking is when I go to the mall and I see a sign like that, it might click in my head for a few minutes. But if I'm there to see a movie or if I'm there to go shopping, I might get distracted after I see your sign and forget to call when I leave the mall.
Well, my goal is kind of more of converting people who are already at the Eco ATM. I mean, do you think that would work?
It might, yeah, it might, but you'd be surprised. Like, so when I've walked up to Eco ATM before and I've just taken deals from Eco ATM, the people are pretty into it. When they're standing in front of that machine, they're kind of just zoned into the machine, because a lot of them they think it's kind of cool. They don't really know what to expect for a price. Obviously, people who are repeats of Eco ATM, yeah, you would probably get them no problem. But I mean, I've had to walk like a foot away from someone before they notice me, and they're like, "Oh, what's up?" And I'm like, "I was just wondering if you were gonna sell your phone." And they're like, "Yeah." And I just tell them, "Hey, well, I'll offer you more than this. Go through the appraisal process. I'll just stand back and I'll get you more cash." And they're like, "Sweet, sounds good." Just basically a little small talk or whatever. But people get pretty into it. They're just kind of like tunnel visioned right into the machine. So what I would try and do is, honestly, I would negotiate with the company. I would tell them you'll do a 6-month lease for $300, or tell them you want a 13-month lease, but you want it for $200. That's what I would.
They had tried to tell me they could give me like a buy one get one, where they give me another one in another mall next to it as well for the price of that the $300 a month. But the other mall, like, it's an hour from me, and it wouldn't be near the Eco ATM. It just didn't seem worth it. So I may go back to them and try to get like $150 or $200 a month for it.
Yeah, I would just try and negotiate the lease. Commercial leases, they usually have a little bit of room on them. Like, I was looking into, not recently, but this is quite a while ago, but I was looking into leasing a storefront. It was like 800 square feet or 1,000 square feet. And they wanted originally they wanted like $1,500 a month, and then he gets back to me and says, I'll do a 5-year lease with you, and then each year the rent will go up, and the first year I'll start you at $700 a month. So it's like he cut his price in half. So if you talk to him and tell him you're serious, you might be able to get a decent deal. If you could get the sign for $200 a month and it's a pretty big sign and it's in a good spot, I would say go for it. I mean, if you're getting a good deal, you know, you can't be afraid to invest in your business. So
Yeah.
All
right.
So, but yeah. Well, cool. We're coming up on like 50 minutes here, so we will we'll probably conclude the group chat unless anybody's got any urgent questions or discussions. Looks like everybody in the chat here is saying not to use USPS. Just for anybody out there that's watching this replay, and that basically the insurance is offered through these packaging companies is pretty much a scam. One thing I would like to ask you, Josh, before we go, because you said you had personal experience with this, is you said you had a claim through FedEx. How was FedEx about processing everything? And I mean, what was the amount or what was the claim reason?
Well,
how did they handle it?
I can't compare it to yours because it was one claim and it was $150, but they had a check here 2 days after I called them. Like I called them on a Monday, I opened my mailbox on Wednesday to a check.
And so what was the reason? What was the reason for the claim?
They bent an so I had an iPad. Admittedly, it was a cheap box, and they somehow bent it and smashed the screen, and they just paid it out.
Wow.
So
no 30 days of waiting. I mean, obviously, yeah, I understand my amount is a significant amount more, but no waiting, nothing like that.
No, I think the whole experience with FedEx is a little bit. I kind of feel like because USPS is a government agency, it's kind of how it is with all government agencies, where it's kind of
they're very slow,
and everything's slow. They don't really care. FedEx, they fought for my business. When I called them and I wanted a business account, they overnighted me a brand new Zebra printer, and they said they'll give you free labels for life. They sent me a stack this tall of free boxes, which USPS does, but I just feel like they really kind of went out of their way to help me, so I feel like it's a different experience from the post office.
Definitely. No, I definitely probably consider switching to FedEx. It's something that I've been thinking about for a long time. It's just I have everything set up through USPS. It's just more hassle on top of the responsibilities and business stuff that I have going on already. But that sounds good. I appreciate that. So for anybody out there watching this, be careful shipping. Just kind of letting you guys know on my update with USPS, they did lose an $18,000 package. That is confirmed via emails, 100% fax. And yeah, they just denied the claim flat out just because there wasn't enough information, even though the lack of information was caused on their own behalf by only allowing me to upload 5 to 6 photos and type 250 characters into the online claim. We are submitting a new claim, going to reappeal it. I'll let you guys know what happens with that, and we'll see if they pay out. If not, it's time to lawyer up and see what happens. But thanks, everybody, for coming out. I appreciate everybody. We'll do another group chat next Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time, and I hope to see you guys all there, too. Have an awesome flipping week, pun intended.
You too, man. Take care.